Hello, my lovelies. Hello, Cindy. Hello, Jason. Just wait for a few people to pop on. Hope everyone's doing okay. How you do these, lovely? I hope you can't, the fan in the background isn't making too much of a noise. It's just that it's so hot in here. I've got the window open and it's still hot. So I'm sitting basically with not much on. Let's put it this way with this fan heater. So you better pray that the camera doesn't suddenly come on or you're in trouble. So what's been going on? It's been quiet on YouTube, hasn't it? Today. So let's see, we've got the quiz for today. So should we start talking about some drama? What drama that is? So there hasn't been much. It's same old. It's boring now. Decker Goss was giving up the ISSP was giving up the what you call us. Kelsey giving up the bare knuckle fighting thing, wasn't he, Decker? And of course, that's when he was back the same day. Going that's why I said, remember my video I did about him? I said he's openly mocking his followers. Hiya, Dr. Kim, which he is. He's openly mocking them. He's seen how far he can push them before they realise we're being taken for idiots here. And he's getting off on that. And telling now, when that camera's off, he's really fucking well rubbing his hands together thinking soft bastards. I've met people like that before. And I never understood them, because you get someone and you'd see they try to get someone to do something they want, or they'd twist someone round a little thing, then be like, the idiot. Now you sort of say to them and say, why does that make you a good person, that you've just literally shown that their good nature can be taken advantage of? And you see them looking. And anyone that I ever saw doing that, I'm telling you now, I never ever trust them. And I let them know that I'd never trust them. I just think it's a horrible trait. It's not that you're making an idiot of the person you're fooling. You're making yourself look like a horrible person that would want to do that. I don't know why people want to do that to other people. Strange. But anyway, so that's been happening. But I don't think he's on I think he's on an up spiral, Kelsey, to tell you the truth, Decker. He's sort of got his niche now, and you'll always get hero worshippers. How you fight now, I'll be putting a link out soon for if people want to join in, but just giving a little quick introduction to the dramas. It's just he's got exactly what he wants now. He's got the drama there. He's got his worshippers, and no matter what anyone says, they'll follow. It doesn't just happen to him. See it happen to other people. You can't say anything about them, or that's it. They go for it. No, they're perfect. They'd never do anything like that. They're wonderful. They're brilliant. And you think, really, they're stupid. That's what they are. They're stupid people at the end of the day. But he's got exactly what he wants. He's got all the attention. He's got his little wish, as I say. And then there's this fella. I don't know what's gone on here. That Joe fella, Joe Marsh, is it? I can't work out what's going on there. Is he actually setting Decker up? Because he went on, didn't he? I haven't seen it, but I heard people talking about it. Didn't he go on Video Craig's Live? I saw the video where he said he'd gone on Video Craig's Live. And he said, I didn't know who he was. Then a few sentences down the line, he says that Video Craig invited him to talk on his live. Wouldn't he see the name Video Craig in the invite? And he didn't know it was Video Craig. His hero's nemesis, Video Craig. And he didn't know it was him. I'm not buying it. I don't know whether this is a setup or not. I can't say for sure. But this appearing on Video Craig's channel seems very, very, very odd to me. But the way he slipped up, he said he didn't know it was Video Craig. So what, he just saw the live, clicked on it. But then he says later on, he got an invite. So he didn't think who again. He didn't bother to look who the invite for. I'm not buying it. Either he's setting up Decker or there's something else going on there. Because it seems odd. I don't know what anyone else thinks in the chat. I think that seems very, very odd. That. So I'm not. That's why I've held off from him. I don't know whether he's genuine or not. This Joey Phil, whether he's just trying to set something up or not. I'm going to doorstep people. Know what I mean? I'm going to doorstep people. Know what I mean? I'm sure people are absolutely dropping one at that film. Anyway, so that's that bit of drama done. Then there was the drama, wasn't there, with Paul Venice. This is it, Rob, though. I can't work out. That instant with Video Craig just seems so weird. And I don't know whether Video Craig's behind this or what's going on, but I haven't got a clue. But it seems very... Oh, Craig doesn't take it seriously. He admits that. This is all a joke to him. He's not outraged. And you have to remind him for saying that. He's not outraged or horrified by Decker. He uses Decker as a platform. I can assure you, if he met Decker face to face, they'd be shaking hands and hugging. I've got no doubt about that. It's just that he sees Decker as a way, and he admits it. He doesn't try to cover it up. So, you know, he does that. But I'm not sure about this Joe fella. I'm not sure what he's up to. But again, it will all unwrap itself. But Decker isn't stupid. He knows what he's doing, and he knows how to spin it. That's the thing about it. Oh yeah, then there was Paul Venice, wasn't there? The Humble lost it over Paul Venice, didn't he? Went absolutely wild. I've said my view of Paul Venice in the past. He's not a bad man. He wouldn't go out and hurt anyone. So when I criticise him, I'm not saying he's a bad man, because it can sound like I'm saying, you know, but he's hypersensitive, very hypersensitive to criticism. And this is the difference between him and Danny Christie. Danny Christie, I always said, has got one huge ego called super ego. God blimey. I love me. Danny Christie is, but Danny Christie couldn't give a rat's behind if someone's slagging him off, and that's the best way to be. He just literally shakes it off. Paul doesn't. Paul takes everything to heart. He's got to have people giving them compliments all the time. So that's his downfall. But he's not a bad fella. But don't think I don't like it. I don't know what anyone else thinks in the chat here. Because someone posted a video of him on TikTok and he's going on, he's raging. This is what he does. If he's going to be on YouTube and it's going to affect, or TikTok or whatever, and affect his mental health, don't read the comments. That's the only thing we can do. He was going on that because someone said, you're weak, you have to be strong and all this business. He was going on about if someone was wanting to end their lives, what you think they'd think of that and all this. I don't think Paul has sat down and thought, what does this sound like to my kids? Me saying this. And he's always saying it. If I was a child and I loved my parents. I had a bit of a close relationship with Papa, but it wasn't a hate relationship, and it wasn't anywhere like that. I mean, I know he loved me, but he was your old school, you know, you did what you were told, all this business. But if I'd heard all the time, oh, I'm going to have a feeling, I like going to end my life, and that would have sent me bloody into therapy as I got older. No one wants to hear the parents talking like that. I don't know whether anyone agrees with me, but I think that's off. I know it's good to talk about mental health, but when you've got kids, for God's sake, don't put out there so they can hear it that you're taking offending it all the time. That's going to screw your kids right up. That's the exception I go with him. He's got to get himself in check. Because, see, I said before, years ago, especially men wouldn't talk about mental health issues. This is terrible to do. It was considered that you were weak and you were there, you know, man up and all that. That's where you get the term man up from. And that's what it would be. So it's good to talk about it, but the thing is, it's gone way too far now, where it's just like, if you haven't got a mental health, especially if you're a wrestler or a boxer, if you haven't got mental health issues, you're somehow lacking. You've got to have a mental health issue. And I said before, maybe getting your face punched in every so often, your brain rattled inside your head, maybe that is having some effect on your mental health issues. But yeah, I think the internet is not the place to get help for your issues. But I think Paul, he wants to be like Danny Christie, you know, successful, blah, blah, blah. That's not saying that Danny Christie doesn't have his distractors. He gets a lot of hate thrown this way, Danny Christie. But as I say, he backs it off. He couldn't give a damn. He loves himself, and that's better than being someone that you know, caves into criticism. But Paul Venice really needs to get a hold of this. I said this about an age ago, right? I did a video and said, look, fishing for compliments. That's what I said about him. I said he's continually fishing for, I'm leaving, I'm not coming back, I'm this, I'm that, this, and all this. And I wasn't being cruel, I was just being straightforward. But then he did a video, didn't he? Not long after. And he's going on oh, thank you for all the kind comments. I really need that. That makes me feel good. Oh, don't say that on YouTube. Don't give them your Achilles heel, please. Because they'll go right for it. And that's exactly what happened. This is what, yeah, Rob, you feel nasty saying that. I do. And I'm not saying everyone that out there that's got mental health issues is a fraud. I'm not saying that at all. But you feel horrible calling them out because say, oh, you're bullying me and I've got mental health issues. It's like, who hasn't? Who hasn't? I'm from a different time period. I'm from a different, Jockney, you'll know what I'm talking about. I keep on picking on Jockney as if he's now fat like me, don't I? But he'll know what I'm talking about. We come from a different age, we approach things differently. And yet they needed to talk about these issues, especially men, because it was a taboo. It was a terrible taboo. Men wouldn't go for help or anything. No. Mental health was a woman's issue back then. You know, women, because of their, you know, the bodily functions and their hormones, that made them, men wouldn't admit to that. Or it wasn't British to admit to it. So it's good that people do talk, but I think what it's gone to the point now where it's not so much talking about it. It's like, I've got a mental health issue. Now I can say and do what I want. And you can't pull me up on it because you're abusing someone with mental health issues. Strange. And also there's a thing as well, isn't there? Which have said, I hate this term, borderline personality disorder. What the hell is that? What the hell is a borderline personality disorder? If you've got a personality disorder or you haven't. It just seems to be to explain natural human emotions. Some people are quirky. God, look at me. Some people are odd. Oh God, look at me. Some people can appear weird. Oh God, look at me. I mean, does that automatically mean I've got a borderline personality disorder? No, maybe I'm just wonderful and that's it. And my wonderfulness confuses people. And other people are like that, wonderful people. As all my lovely mods are all wonderful people. Aren't you all my lovely mods? Oh, Jockney's flaunting. Danny Rice Crispy. Yeah, it was never, you wouldn't dare discuss it if you're a man. It was bad enough for women, that's not saying women at least, but women were always patronised. It was either, the hormones or oh, well, you were pregnant, you've just had a baby, and all this business. It was very patronising towards women. Men wouldn't. Men wouldn't. And if someone did actually do it was usually put down as a heart attack, a sudden death, coronary. That still happens in the police. Well, it did when I was there. We used to know, would say, sadly, suddenly died. You know, if an officer died, sadly passed away suddenly. It'd be like they ended it themselves. Still a terrible taboo in the police when I was there, and that's not all that long ago, for an officer to have mental health issues. They used to be offered help, but they'd be looked down upon. Not by the other officer, I'm not saying that, by the officialdom, you know, that way. They were weak. But they wouldn't actually say it. I'm not saying that every officer thought that way. They certainly didn't. Oh, I'm just in me grunties, Kelsey. So Johnny's in his grunties. I'm in me grunties. I've got this camera covered up. I don't want you all suddenly having to call an ambulance if you see me suddenly flashing up there. Hey, do you remember? I had to laugh at that. Do you remember when Exposure TV revealed his face? And he tried to make out it was his mate. I got me mate to sit there. That wasn't me. I got me mate. He wet me so. It's the way he tried to cover it up. It was just made it funnier the way he tried to cover it up. Oh my God. Oh, it was funny. So when you put, I've got I'll put the link out. If anyone wants to come out for a little chatty watty. Watty. That could have sounded so wrong then, what I said then. Chatty watty. Watty. Then we'll do our quiz, or we'll do our quiz then if people want to come on. And see what happens. Got some good questions for you all. Very good questions for you all. Imagine being years ago, though, Cindy, when women had to really put on layers and layers of clothes, and you couldn't, even though it was hot, you still had to wear them. Men, it was bad enough for men, but women were literally corsets, panniers, undergarments. They were heavy, the clothes as well. Must have been horrific when they had to eat weight. So I'll start the quiz because it doesn't look like anyone wants to come on. So here we go. Where am I? Here we go. Start with film. Which film caused problems? Oh, here we go. Just give us a wave. I won't put you on. Just give us a wave. Okay. Now take yourself off, Matt, and then I'll put you on if you don't want your face shown.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Oh, that's all right. How are you doing?
Well, I'm enjoying the sun. I'm a slave to the sun, so I'm just soaking it all up.
Yeah, oh, I'm not. Johnny, I hate it. And yeah, I've got Italian in my background, but I'm not a sun worshipper. I'm not. Oh no, my beautiful, delicate apricots and cream English rose complexion can't take all this sun. I burn too easily. It's horrible.
I had a lovely drive along the Brighton seafront today with the sunshine and the sea breeze. It's
yeah, Brighton's lovely.
What was I going to say? Yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm a big fan of your show. I jump in now and then.
Oh, I watch yours now and again. You're very talented man, Matt. You are.
Oh, it's very kind of you to say, and vice versa, Anne. You're very talented yourself.
But how's things going with you anyway, Matt?
Well, yeah, I'm putting a brave smile on my face. It's been a nightmare time last so and so, but I've got my friends, family, and girlfriend, and I seem to keep get myself through it. But of course, Anne, no, carry on, Anne. Sorry.
going to say you're still getting the same abuse.
Yes.
That
I mean,
makes
only today I'm touching base with New York, Anne. So I'm going transatlantic, and I've got in touch with this guy called Dave. Dave's a YouTuber himself, and he's got a friend called Michelle Marie Delaney, and she's another YouTuber. So we're trying to like network, and all of a sudden we've had the vermin mouse come on and start calling complete strangers the N word. And I'm not talking about the colour skin N word. I'm talking about the other N word.
I know.
But the thing is, Anne, I thought we would have been mature enough.
I think what it is, Matt, as you know, I had trouble from that individual. Let's put that way. I had a lot of trouble from it. It was the first one that would deny it, but it did that doxed me on line. And what disgusted me, it goes on, it's supposed to be fighting for children and all this business and attacking people, which is all rubbish. It's not. But yet, the very thing he doxed me with was court papers where I went to court to have tried to get information released on a Liverpool solicitor that would have blown the lid off the Merseyside police covering up for these people that this mouse is supposed to be protecting. Yeah, it wasn't to these children that this mouse is supposed to be protecting. And I said, oh, that's nice. You attacked me for trying to reveal a cover-up that was making children stay victims of these people. But I said, no, it did. And it's who we got the information up as well that makes me laugh, because if I revealed who we got the information up, or she, I'm convinced it's a she myself.
Yeah, and it's fascinating. But what's most worrying, what it sounds like they're doing to scupper you, not so much scupper you, to kind of like sabotage you, is illegal in itself, surely.
Oh, yeah.
So it's beyond mere trolling, isn't it? It's takes it to a new level.
I think what it is just because you can guarantee this will suddenly be clipped. And
absolutely.
You can guarantee it now. Be all the swines going and all this business, but it's just I don't understand it. I'm going to say to you, Matt, do you want to comment in the chat, because they want to advertise your channel? No, the mods, because when someone comes on, they put your channel up so people can go and follow you if they want to.
Okay, let me see if I can then.
Oh yeah, I don't think you can you? When you're actually on. Hey, well, what do I'll get it?
Oh yeah. Hello.
What's your channel called now, Matt?
Oh, Matt Taylor TV. I'll just do hi everyone. Hi everyone. Please subscribe. You don't mind me you don't mind me asking your audience to subscribe, I hope.
No, everyone gets it.
That's very kind of you. I mean, the reason why, and it's great discussing, and I think it's important that we discuss all the other characters that are trolling us. But I mean, you were touching on history the last time you were live, and my big question for the audience is, why does our history start at 1066? It's always kind of itched my head.
Now I know more or less know the answer to that. That's why it's called the Dark Ages. It's not just England. It was Britain. It was all over Europe. There's a period, the Dark Ages, and it starts around about, when is it? It would have been 7th century, something like that, BC. And it went on until the, I think it was, as you say, the 10th century it went on. But it was because, for some reason, people didn't actually write anything down. They didn't bother recording history, or very little of it. So they say we know more about what the ancient Greeks and ancient Sumerians got up to than we do what the Europeans were getting up to between the 7th century and the 10th century. Are you still there, Matt? Gone quiet. Yeah, that's why it's called the Dark Ages, people. If you wonder why there's no information on those days, it's because, for some reason, people stopped writing things down. So it's like a yawning gap where they have to sort of fit things together, because the history just wasn't there.
No, but that was the reason why I wanted to call in, Anne, because according to the historical research of Annan Wilson and Baron Blackett, those Middle Ages are well written, but they've been considered a forgery by the Victorian historians.
Oh, that was I heard there's the thing that it never happened or something like that. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, because what they are suggesting is that meat asteroid debris brought about the Dark Ages because it destroyed all of England and left it a wasteland between 7 and 11 years.
Mm.
But because you said the Dark Ages started at 7 BC, that's obviously wrong, isn't it? You made a spelling mistake there, didn't you?
Well, wait a minute. Someone said the Middle Ages, the Middle Ages, not the Dark Ages.
Yeah, but so they suggest the Dark Ages happened about the end of the 5th century, about 562. That's when the 592.
Yeah,
and so and that's the big reveal is King Arthur is real. There's a whole history.
I know you're onto this King Arthur thing, but no one's ever really found him after they did.
Yeah, but we know where he is though. But the thing is, if for definitive answer, we can go to where we believe he's buried and verify one way or the other. And also that can be said about Jesus as well, that they're claiming to know where Jesus is laid. And so again, we can go and verify once and for all whether it is really Jesus, whether it is really King Arthur.
How do they know if it was Jesus or King Arthur unless it had something on them that said it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean the old poems talk about King Arthur being killed by a 10-year-old native out in Kentucky, America, and how his remains were in 3 deerskins and how it was sailed back to Wales. And so all these are chronicled in Welsh poems and Welsh annuals. And it's a fascinating history, which I am just so excited about. And I'm just so eager to share it. And of course, it isn't just me, Anne. The Britain's Hidden History group has got 5,000 members.
Mm.
And so all I'm saying is, look, when I found out, my mind was blown. I thought, yeah, right. But I tell you, I spent a lot of money and a lot of time reading all their books. And I've come to the conclusion myself that, sorry for swearing, but bloody King Arthur is real. It's like finding out Santa Claus is real, isn't it?
Well,
in a way.
I say I haven't read them. I've never shown much interest in it, only that I like the name Margaret. I think that's a wonderful name, Margaret.
But what's your interest in King Arthur? Does that excite you? Does the whole story of King Arthur do it for you?
No, not really. No, I've never looked into it because it's not something. It's not a page of history liked. But all that I knew about it on a basic, and I haven't read all the stuff on you. All that I know on a basic level is they reckon it was like a merger of 3 chiefs, wasn't it? That they reckon that did it, but he was. They said his body was found in some chapel or somewhere. And then they debunked that because they said the cross with him was of a later date and all this business. But I don't know. I say anything's possible. Anything's absolutely
Well,
possible.
I like to think I know now, Anne. I like to think I'm confident to say I know the truth of King Arthur.
Mm.
And I mean, I'm of course I'm open to being proven wrong. Of course I am. But I just find it so exciting myself.
But why would they cover it up then?
Oh, well, because remember, our history starts at 1066. And what happened at 1066? The Normans invaded.
Yeah.
So the Normans write the history. They don't want King Arthur being remembered because it will remind you of an age in which the ancient British were equal with the Romans. Because all this historical research is telling us that the Romans never actually conquered the UK. Because England, or Britain, because England was equal to Rome. And so when Rome came over, they married into the British rule. And so there was empires.
Well,
and that was when Jesus had the only place to escape. Yeah, they say Jesus escaped the area to South Wales.
Yeah, they went to South Wales, but the thing is, what about, we've got evidence of Boadicea. and or Badika, whatever you want to call that, and the
Yeah,
war
yeah,
she
that.
proclaimed. So why would she create a war against someone that wasn't an invader?
I don't know about that, to be honest, but
Yeah,
because Boadicea came after King Arthur time, so it's. But yeah, I
but
mean,
she went after the Romans, didn't she?
yeah, yeah, but and that was more. She operated more London way, didn't she?
Yeah, but I
Boadicea.
think I don't know. I think what it is you'd have to, if the evidence said we know Boadicea happened, so there must have been. We know, even though you're saying it wasn't an invasion, it seems to be that the historical account is it was an invasion that happened, and that's why they ran to Wales to try. They was the stronghold was what we
Yeah, their
took in
stronghold
Wales
was
now,
Wells. Yeah.
so that's why they ran there, and it was a Claudius who actually eventually got in and got the Welsh under what we call the Welsh today. Because
Well, yeah, I mean, but also the Welsh finally got under control about the 10th century, the 11th century. It took that long because it was such a stronghold of the ancient British.
hmm,
Because remember, back in the day, Welsh, you couldn't speak Welsh. They done their hardest to get rid or genocide the whole culture, history, and language.
oh yeah, I know,
But
but
I think that's the enduring strength of the King Arthur legend is that no matter what, it's still pumping and it's still getting people like myself passionate after
oh,
like 1,500 years.
I know people are still passionate about it, still looking for them. But as I say, I haven't read up on it. Matt, I wouldn't know all the details, so I couldn't turn around and say to you now, oh, no, he didn't exist,
Well,
because it's
look,
not something I've ever looked into.
and I won't go on and hog the line, but just for everyone else, I'm confident that I know the truth, and I'm just so excited about it. I'm just amazed with the knowledge that King Arthur was a real historical figure,
Mm,
and the whole ancient history is different to what we're taught in schools. I
yeah.
mean, are you familiar with that Paul Cook? The Paul Cook. They talk. Are you familiar with that? No,
No,
Paul
no.
Cook. No. Okay, fair enough. He's talking about older civilizations.
Oh, I know that this is the thing I was saying this last week, wasn't I? When they were talking about no aliens and all this.
Yeah,
We know now, I mean, it's pretty certain that mankind was way, way, way more advanced than we give them credit, but something happened, as you say, like a disaster happened
yes, and
that
that's
seemed
exactly
to
what.
erase everything.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. That's what got me excited to call in tonight, actually, Anne. And
Yeah.
while you were saying that, I was thinking about Paul Cook because he can like.
Yeah, I think I've heard his name. But
Yeah,
yeah, I've always said that we are the things they reckon. This is why they reckon also we're so we can get paranoid and all this, and we seem to be a species that's always on edge. It's because they reckon that we've got no, because the disaster was that bad that somehow down the generations the trauma has carried on in us. But yet to find, I mean, look, was it? I hope I pronounced this right. Go play Tempe. If I don't know, must have got that wrong. That thing in Turkey, isn't it, where they've uncovered
yeah.
it, and that's 15,000 years old.
Wow. Do you know what you were just talking about? How we're inbred to be like on edge. Do you
Yeah.
reckon maybe that comes from that perhaps we were once prey?
Well, it
And
will come. It will come from that, but they reckon what it is that there was a disaster. That's what they think. That's what they're looking
but
for.
look, you keep on mentioning these day. You know, what you
Yeah.
mean by day, you just mean the mainstream. I bloody kicked the mainstream to the curb years ago, and I did.
Yeah, but you have to sort of like you have to be careful as well, Matt, that you don't go into what they go no mad conspiracy lands where things are
There's
just
danger of being radicalised, yeah, but I don't think I have like fallen too badly. I
no.
think I'm well grounded.
When you're talking about something like King Arthur, it's not within the it's not without possibility that he was a real person. So that's not so much a conspiracy theory in itself. It's there is a possibility. It's the same situation as they have in Rome with Pope Joan. If you're ever into Pope Joan, now Pope Joan was supposed to have been in the 9th century, but the question is, did she actually exist, which would cause terrible trouble for the Catholic Church because God anoints the popes, and he would never have anointed a woman, even though she did portray herself as a man. But when the Vatican has been asked this, one of the Vatican historians said, when he was asked, could you say 100% that there was never a female pope that the people believed was a man in the 9th century? Now, what he turned around and said, he said, look, he said, it was that long ago. He said, you couldn't say 100% for certain. But he said, the likelihood is, he said, that it's a myth. But you can look at the evidence in a certain way to say something happened, because the transition of the popes don't add up. And there's little rituals the popes do where they sit on a chair and it looks like a bathing chair with a hole in it. And someone has to put the hands in to make sure that they've got the right equipment dangling down between it.
Oh no!
And they say, oh yeah, they say you can still see that in the Vatican City. And they say, why would they have a ritual like that if there hadn't been?
Of course, yes. If
so you have things like that, but it's that long ago, as the historian said. He said you could never prove it now one way or the other. He said you have to just sort of go on.
Well, that's a cover-up, surely, because it's all written down in a diary somewhere, isn't it? In the
well, this is it. You have to be careful because it only came out 200 years after it allegedly happened. It's the same with the Green Children of Woolpit. It only came out way after the time it happened, and you think, why did someone wait so long? And surely, if there'd been a female pope, and you can't underestimate how serious it would have been to have a female pope, because that would have just totally destroyed the Catholic Church.
But it also would have modernised it and put it in good light at the time, surely.
No, God, a woman.
Yeah, but it would have. Women were pretty big back then. We have Cleopatra was world famous. Cleopatra was world famous, and
she wasn't respected.
And every king had to have a mother, didn't they? So there were still powerful women around, surely.
No, what is mass is that a woman. Was Jesus a woman? No. Were any of his apostles women? No. It would have been considered a terrible affront.
But hang on, surely, Anne. But maybe back then it wasn't. Oh yeah, it would have, because it would have.
Well, if it's true, there's two things that happened. There's two versions of what they did to her. She got pregnant. This way also seemed a bit strange. Why would she take the risk of having a sexual affair with someone?
Well, everyone, gets the urges. Everyone gets the need.
She got pregnant and she tried to hide it. But when she was it all sounds too fantastical or too set up to be dramatic. When she actually was going on parade, and you can go, I think the road's called, I'm sure I've been down there many years ago, the Strada de Pompesa, the road of the female pope, and that's where she was supposed to parade. Now, there's two versions. Either when she gave birth, she's also given birth on the steps, and when they realised it was a woman, they ripped her to bits. There and there.
No.
But there's another version but the other two versions that she was hung, and there's another one that she was sent to a nunnery and kept there. But why it's such a controversial issue is that a female pope, according to the Catholics, all popes are put there by God, they don't vote them in. God makes them choose.
But we all know that.
Oh, we all know it's all rubbish. But to have had a woman, don't forget, this is what I say about women to go, no, the Bible's not complimentary to women, and it certainly does not say that women are equal to men. It doesn't. It says that men are the masters. So in those days, and way after those days, the idea of a woman being appointed by God when Jesus himself had all men, considered horrendous blasphemy. So, but it's one of the things. But definitely, I'm going to look into it and see.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, please do, because I think you'll find it just as fascinating.
I'll tell you what. When you go back into live chat, just put some names of books that people can.
Yeah, okay, cool.
That would be brilliant. Oh, lovely speaking to you, Matt.
And lovely speaking to you as well. And just before I go, in Lewis, because I go to Lewis football team, they celebrate two pirate women who once dressed up as men.
Yeah. Oh,
they're quite famous. Yeah, and there's a statue of them at Lewis Football
You,
Club.
you'd be shocked how many women went to see dressed up as men. And of
There you
course,
go.
remember, I don't know if anyone knows in the chat, I can't remember her name. There was a doctor, a famous doctor, admiral in the Navy.
Wow.
And it was only discovered when she died that she was a woman and she'd had 2 kids.
Good God.
It's
Hey,
amazing. Yeah.
look, Anne, would you mind sometime in the future I'd pop on again because I
Yeah,
enjoy
feel
taking it.
free.
Oh, thank you ever so much.
Whenever you want, Matt, definitely pop on again.
Oh, well, look, you've been a great host and I've really enjoyed having a chat with you, Anne. Thanks ever so much. I'll listen now and let you get on.
Brilliant. Oh, thanks for that, Matt. Come on again, definitely.
Okay, God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye now. So that was nice because Matt gets a lot of flack. He's got a lot of flack for a long, long time. A lot of flack. So, which is unfair. I mean, just because someone believes something or supports something you don't doesn't mean that you try to destroy them. Anyway, so shall we go for the quiz now? Which film caused problems for Gloria Swanson because people thought the main character was too like her in real life? The wonderful, amazing, one of a kind Gloria Swanson. Which film did she make which caused her problems because people thought it was too close to what she must be like in real life? Come on, Cindy, you must know this. Where's no, not Mother Dearest. Do you think? Do you think? No, that was about Joan Crawford, wasn't it? That horrible film. Well, the film's not horrible. The book is. No, not Rocky. There we are. You've got it, bare bones. You're on the right track. Sunset Boulevard. If you haven't seen it, put it on your bucket list. It's a film you will see before you die. Now, what it was about it. I'll ask the second part because I'll discuss why it was so problematic. What was the character's name? Yeah, Jeff, you got it. What was the character's name she played? And people just for the rest of her life kept on saying, "Oh, it's really her, isn't it? That she's acting herself there." What was the name of the character? Oh, you'll get there, Cindy. You'll get there. So, what was the name of the character? Anyone got a clue? Don't know. I'll give it away. It was Norma Desmond. Norma Desmond. And what it was, the problem was that Gloria Swanson, of course, had been one of the hugest stars in the silent era. She was huge, on millions she was. One of the biggest stars going. And of course, after the silent films left, a lot struggled to carry on. And so in 1950, when she did Sunset Boulevard, which is about Norma Desmond, who's an ex-silent star, who's totally going off her head. She's always wanting to take her own life, and she's controlled. You'd have to say it's a wonderful performance. But I don't know why people thought it was her. And she said this. She said, people think that's me. She said, they're convinced that's me. And she said, no, she didn't even have the same voice. When you hear a voice in Sunset Boulevard, she's got this strange accent on it. But she was very soft-spoken when she was in real life. But oh yeah, she couldn't shake it off. She said, I'll always be Norma Desmond. So now to the next one. Which film adaptation of one of his books did Stephen King, the horror novelist, hate? And it's surprising because it's such a brilliant film, but yeah, he hates it. He apparently stormed out the theatre and said, "You've ruined my film. You've ruined my book, sorry. You've totally destroyed my book," when he saw the film. They were out there, yeah, The Shining. He hated it. He said they totally destroyed the book. So, now, another thing about The Shining. What conspiracy theory is attached to The Shining about the director himself, Stanley Kubrick? They reckon Stanley Kubrick was confessing to something in the film and left clues throughout the film. What was it that people reckon he was confessing to? Very interesting when you see people going on about it and pointing out different things. You have to think back to if you know what Stanley Kubrick was accused of doing in the 60s. Not a murder, no. That's it, bare bones. Cindy, the moon landings. They reckon he was confessing to having faked the moon landings, that he filmed it in a studio. So that's what he did. They reckon if you look at the film, there's clues. You can get it if you put in The Shining, Kubrick confesses to moon landings, fraud. You'll see it come up. There's loads where they're discussing the different clues. It does set a load of nonsense, but they try to point out the different things. Now, here we've got a literature one here. In Alice in Wonderland, which character asked Alice, "Who are you?" Which resulted in a very interesting response. In Alice in Wonderland, which character asked Alice, "Who are you?" Who are you? Oh, not the Red Queen. And it was a response that was interesting. That's it, Bare Bones the Caterpillar. Yeah, Cindy the Caterpillar. And she gives this strange response about, well, I'm not that sure because this morning I was someone else. It's very, when you look into Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland, some of the things that comes up with you think they're extremely deep. It's like he's making a comment about the human psyche. Here we have another film one. When Star Wars was first released, what was its full title? So you Star Wars fans, what was its full title when Star Wars was first released? I knew someone would say that. Purple Tracky. No, I knew someone would say that. This is where people get confused. Because I remember when I first went to see, because I love the first three Star Wars films, I love them. So when they were re-released and they were jazzed up, I went to see them. And I remember seeing that and I thought, I couldn't remember it being called A New Hope, episode 4, New Hope. So I couldn't remember that. That's because it wasn't. When it was first released, it was just Star Wars. Yeah, it was later on that was added, episode 4. But when he tries to make out that he had it all planned, he'd written them all, or had it all planned out well before, that's just rubbish. He didn't. Because you can see where he's made the continuity errors. Like one that stuck out for me when I went to see the Phantom Menace. And the others, that Phantom Menace was awful. That's going to be one of the worst ones out of them. Boring. But do you remember at the end of the next 3, or the phase 3, I should say, that they made, where she dies in childbirth? Well, funny enough, if you go back to straight away, I thought this when I saw that had died. I thought, wait a minute, if you go back to Return of the Jedi, Princess Leia says she could remember her mother as a child, memories, thoughts, feelings. How could she if her mother died when she was born? So it's little things like that didn't add up. But fantastic, the first three. I'm not too. Some of the other ones, some of the modern ones are good, but nowhere near as good as the first ones. Here we are, another Star Wars one. Bare bones, no. You'd have to have been around when Star Wars was first released in the cinema. It was like nothing we'd ever seen before. It was mind blowing. Here we go. Which character changed 3 times in the Star Wars films? Which character physically changed 3 times? He looked different every time he appeared. So which character from Star Wars changed 3 times? No, not Emperor Palpatine. No, think of the first one, the third one, and then that awful The Phantom Menace. That's it, Jabba. Cindy's got Jabba the Hutt. When it was first released, Jabba the Hutt was a human. It's a man. Because George Lucas couldn't afford to make the prosthetics. Then that's when it gets funny. In Return of the Jedi, Jabba the Hutt is this huge, what we imagine to be this huge slug sitting on a couch. Well, of course, when they readjusted it up, they wanted to put Jabba in the scene with Han Solo, where he's talking to him as he's getting on the ship. And of course, suddenly Jabba's a quarter the size he was in Return of the Jedi. So George Lucas said they had to explain it away by saying that, or between that and when Return of the Jedi happened, he'd been eating loads of frogs and put on a load of weight. That's why he grew. So literally 3 times he changed. Once he went from being human, then he was big, then he was little. Funny. So, let's see. Here we are. This is a quote on this. Who, when asked why they wanted to climb Mount Everest, replied, because it's there. Who, when asked why they wanted to climb Everest, replied, because it's there. Oh, close. There's close. Got the wrong name though. No, not Robot. So you've got something about Robocop, haven't you? Yeah, that George fella. You're on this right. George Mallory. That's it. Yeah, George Mallory. Wonderful response, isn't it? Here we are. Michael Parkinson now. Which actress did Michael Parkinson cut her interview down because he didn't like her attitude? Which actress did Michael Parkinson cut her interview down because he didn't like her attitude? Thought she was snotty and disinterested. And so literally live on air, he said, what do you think no, not Grace Jones. He said, what do you think we should do with this interview? She went, and so he said, all right. And her face just, you want to see her face, she was shocked. It became part of television history because he never did anything like that, even if he didn't like anyone, but he really didn't like her. That's it. Meg Ryan. That's right. Meg Ryan, he did it. He said he just didn't like her attitude. But then later he said he might have misread it because she was advertising the film she didn't like, that she knew wasn't good. So she's had to go on these tours and be interviewed, and he said she wasn't into it at all because she didn't like the film. And but he said her whole attitude before the show started, and he said it was off. She was dismissive, like. Here we are. How many Bond films did Roger Moore appear in? How many Bond films did Roger Moore appear in? No, enough. Jason, you've got it. 7. 7. Now, I don't care what anyone says. The best Bond was Sean Connery. I don't care what anyone says. Even though he didn't have the right accent, which he didn't. He was Scottish, of course, but I think he was the best one. Sean Connery. I always say, it's like when people talk about the favourite Doctor Who. In my mind, Sean Connery was the best 007. Now, let's see. Now here we go. You'll get this, Cindy. You're into your art. Where is, now, I'll point this out. I've copied this down, but I'll point out where this person shouldn't have done this, who put this question in. Where is Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa shown off? Exhibited, I should say. Where is Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa exhibited? Where can you go and see it, in other words? The Louvre, yeah, that's it. The Louvre in Paris. Now, I'll tell you why this always gets me this. People, if you want to impress artists right now, people, never say Leonardo da Vinci. You either say Leonardo or you just say da Vinci. You don't say, why, I don't know. But you say one or the other, you don't say them both. So it's either Leonardo, and it's not Leonardo, it's Leonardo, and it's Da Vinci. I don't know why they don't like people saying Leonardo da Vinci, but they don't. Say one or the other. Oh, I didn't know about that seal. Didn't know he'd done that. Never knew that. Here we are. What is Sir Alex Ferguson's middle name? What is Sir Alex Ferguson's middle name? Now, for people that don't know, he was one of those men that kick around a football and then told other people that kick around footballs what to do. He does have one. He does have one. That's it, bare bones Chapman. Sir Alex Chapman Ferguson. So I've got to ask a Shakespeare one, because you know what, I'm mad about Shakespeare, right? So it's two about him. What was the name of Shakespeare's wife? What was his wife called? Who got his best bed? Or was his second best bed? I can't remember. The best, so she got something. Well, second best, wasn't it? Something or other, I can't remember. So what was the name of Shakespeare's wife? Oh, there we are, Cindy. Anne Hathaway. It wasn't Mrs. Shakespeare. Anne Hathaway. Here we are. Here's another interesting one. What part did Shakespeare play in Hamlet? When it was first released, he actually had a role in Hamlet. So which part did he play in Hamlet? Oh, yeah, there's... Which play did he play in Hamlet? You're all going mad now, aren't you? Leah, Isabel, the skull. Come on now, who did he play? I'll give you a clue. Ooh. Ooh, ooh. He played the ghosty. The ghost. That's it, Cindy. Played the ghost. That was a hard one. That was difficult. Here we are. Which band sang Tears of a Clown? Which band sang Tears of a Clown? I remember when that's the name of I'll give you a home point, Lucius. It was Smokey Robinson and it wasn't just him on his own. Smokey and the Miracles, yeah, that's it. No, just when it said Clune, like I remember who was it? What's the name? Can't even remember the name now. Shoot. Kelly. That Kelly one, what's the name? That was woman. She made a video about me. She was raging because I said something about her. Strange, she made a video. Remember at the end, she went, and I thought, she just called me see you next Tuesday. About it's this clown. I waved her eventually. I thought she was calling me a very rude name, darlings. Who played, here we are. Here we are, you better get this, Johnny. Who played the Flying Nun in the 60s TV series? When they were also funny back then with the canned laughter and really sickly sweet comedy. Who played the Flying Nun in the 60s TV series? Shame on you, Jock, you should know this. Sally Field, yeah. What was the name of the show? Yeah, there we go. That's it. I knew you'd get it. Sally Field. Which was absolutely rubbish. It was so American sickly for the time, cutesy, oh. And that terrible canned laughter they used to have back then, it was horrendous. Now that's it. Wait a minute, I've got one more now. Here we are. This is going to take you back. And be surprised when anyone gets this. What TV show used the theme? What theme? Let me say this right. Get into English. What TV show's theme tune was What Are We Going to Do with Uncle Arthur? Or what are we going to do about Uncle Arthur? What are we going to sing it so you get a clue? Well, what are we going to do about Uncle Arthur? A nuisance is Uncle Arthur. Did you hear the going there? What are we going to do about Uncle Arthur? I think it's a nuisance is Uncle Arthur. Sang it for years. There we are, upstairs, downstairs. Yeah, bare bones, you got it. Upstairs, Cindy got as well. Upstairs, downstairs. So anyway, that's the end of the quiz. And it's so hot. Oh, Jockey, you should have known that. You should have known all that. Anyway, what I'll do, I'll be back. What day is it today? Is it Wednesday? It's a Wednesday, isn't it? So I'll be back Wednesday. Friday with another quizzy and another chat. If anyone wants to jump on and have a chat, feel free to come on and have a chat. Oh, look, right, Lucius, I only know them because I've got time to think them out, and some of them are picking up the internet. So I don't know the answers to them until I actually find them and write them down. Yeah, that's it. I don't like it when it's too easy. You know, when they make them really easy, it's annoying, isn't it? So, anyway, darlings, thank you for all joining me. And I'll be back, as I say, Friday, 8 o'clock. And people that I'm so glad Matt came on to have a chat. And other people come on, talk about absolutely anything. Well, within reason, of course. I mean, I'm not talking dirty things. So take care, and thank you to my beautiful mod, Kelsey, Julie's, and Cindy. Thank you very much, darlings. So bye-bye now. Bye-bye.